Hi, I'm Amy Kiser. I'm a board-certified holistic nutritionist who helps people with autoimmune disease, gastrointestinal conditions, and weight loss. And I'm here today to talk about 6 simple tips that can help your family eat healthier. So let me put this in, excuse me one second. All right, let me share my screen. This is not my system. Okay, here we go. All right. Try to get this slideshow. All right. So before I get started, I just wanted to have a disclaimer about this educational health information I'm providing is not intended to diagnose, prescribe, or substitute for medical advice. And when you're in doubt about anything in terms of treatment or diet, please consult a physician. So the tips I put together are designed to help you now. I feel like everybody has been turning to comfort foods, and now there's so much uncertainty too about the winter, and so people are still turning to them. The summer we had, it seemed like a little bit of a reprieve. We had a lot of fresh foods. Hopefully people ate more of those, but now people are kind of falling into their bad COVID habits. So these tips are really designed to help you transition your family away from sugar and yourself away from sugary treats using nutrient dense foods in their whole form. And I'll provide you some really easy tips to do that. I'll give you some ideas for lunches, snacks, and dinners that the whole family enjoys, and then make it easier to prepare healthy food. I think everybody's so sick of cooking. They're turning to prepared foods or takeout, or making choices in takeout that maybe they shouldn't be. So making food preparation easier is something that everyone seems to want right now. So the first tip is that eating a mix of protein and or fat with your carbs will prevent the hangries. So I'm not saying have a lot of butter on your pancakes. Basically, I'm trying to explain that, the carbs, eat more healthy carbs. The carbs are also vegetables and fruit and whole grains and beans, and so those kinds of carbs. So combining them with protein and fat is a great way to go, and especially for breakfast. So this is why I presented some things that are breakfast foods. I have a muffin here that is made with eggs and bacon, and incidentally, I have some recipes that I can send you if you provide me with your email in chat. There's avocado toast. I love these Rachel's overnight oats. They have chia seeds and flax seeds. They have 6 grams of protein. So if you add some nut butter to that, like 1 tablespoon of nut butter is about 4 grams of protein, and it has healthy fat in that. So maybe add a couple blueberries because those are low in sugar. In the overnight oats you can make actually they don't have to be overnight. That's the beauty of these. I think they're Rachel Ray's recipe, but you can do it in the microwave. You can add hot water. So they taste like overnight oats, but they don't take a long time. I've got some, there's some pork sausage that's in the freezer case at Whole Foods and Stop and Shops that's really good. And think about non-traditional foods for breakfast. Like it's funny, I found this olives and cheese. I thought that was so interesting. Like if you're a big savory person, that could be a side in addition to your eggs or in addition to your sausage. It's a really, and that can help you feel full longer because it has a lot of good protein and fat in it. So then it's all in the presentation is another tip that I learned. And I basically learned this by putting out some vegetables in like a different pattern for my kids. And so just experimenting once when they were a lot smaller, and all of a sudden I looked over and it was around dinner time when everybody's hungry, everybody's gonna try and grab a snack, and all of a sudden all the vegetables were gone. I was shocked because they're not big vegetable people, but because they were out there and they looked pretty and they looked different than the way they do on their plate, they thought it was really great. So they decided to eat them. So this is more designed probably for kids, but it can also apply to, like, if you ever think about the presentation of the food that you get in a restaurant, and how, wow, it looks amazing. But even in a farm to table restaurant, there are a lot of more just whole foods and things, but the way they prepare it, and they put the sauce on the side, or they do something different. So next time you're preparing food for your family, try and think of a different way you can prepare it. These are also just some things, I mean, especially the rainbow fruit skewers. I mean, that's something fun to bring to a dinner party, or something if you've got to bring an appetizer or dessert. It'll make it something healthy look really fabulous. This is actually on the lower left, a banana split fruit sundae. So it's just bananas with some healthy whipped cream, or you can have some healthy yogurt with some berries and then granola on it. Those are some wrap-ups in the middle. They've got eggs, avocado, lettuce, just wrapped in. Those are turkey slices. So just different presentations. On the top right, on the right is just, I thought it was kind of fun. You could do this really easily and bring that to a dinner party too. So these are just some ways to make healthy look more interesting. The third tip is to make healthy food more easily accessible. So this is something actually I learned because I one time found a beautiful old glass bowl, and I decided to use it as a fruit bowl. It was something we got for our wedding. And I put just random fruit in it. I mean, it's the same fruit that's in our refrigerator in the drawer, but I just decided to put it out on the counter. Well, it's amazing because that fruit bowl, every time I fill it up, it's gone within 2 days, whereas no one ever touches the drawer in the refrigerator. So you're laughing, Cynthia. Does that happen to you? Yeah, it's just amazing. Once you put things out and make it accessible, people are so lazy. It's crazy. You want to say something, Cynthia?
No, you talk to me. No, it's true. If I'll cut up, if my daughter, I will cut up some fruit or something, or even, red peppers, and then they get eaten. If you cut them and leave them on the counter, they get eaten.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think also what's interesting on the left is I found this picture of these vegetables, and getting back to the presentation, like using a different kind of device to cut up your vegetables is kind of cool. Like I don't know what, that's some special kind of slicer. Yeah. But I bet if you go in a kitchen store or Bed Bath & Beyond, you can find some fun slicers to do things with. I know I don't have I can't remember what it's called, not a julienne slicer, but one of those really thin slicers to cut things up, but a ribbon slicer, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, but then another thing too is to just put food out again before dinner or in the middle of the day, like to try and get everybody to eat more fruits and vegetables is a great idea. Another thing, meal prep doesn't have to be complicated. I know when I teach workshops, everybody's like, oh, meal prep, that's going to take hours away from my Sunday. I don't feel like doing it. So these are some easy things you can do to make meal prep less complicated. So one thing I have on the left there is I have some meatballs. So you can take meatballs and you can even pre-cook them if you want and then freeze them. Or if you're making meatballs for something, for pasta, you can just make extra and freeze them. I always think if you double a recipe every time you make a recipe and then freeze it, it makes it so much easier. There are also some things you can do. I can't remember, they're called dump recipes. I know that sounds terrible, but you can actually, there are a lot of recipes, you can just take the ingredients and without cooking them, just dump them into a Ziploc bag. Make sure you get all the air out and freeze it, so that then you can put it into your Instant Pot or you can put it into your slow cooker without cooking it first. So you cut up extra vegetables and put some extra meat in there and then cook it from scratch later if you think that tastes better than cooking and freezing. Another thing is making a lot of egg salad to have during lunch during the week. That's pretty easy, just hard boiling a ton of eggs. Grilling a lot of meat on Sunday. We grill extra meat and vegetables so that we have them during the week for salads. And then the lower left is this really cool, it's at Williams-Sonoma. It's called a sauce. I'm trying to find the name of it. It's a sauce cube, and you basically can take, it makes long like cubes of sauce. You can get ones that are big that you can put something like a spaghetti sauce in, or you can get small ones that you can use as more of a dipping sauce. But if you're making a lot of pesto, if you're making a lot of chimichurri or anything like that, you can freeze it and then use it later, which is great because it can change. You can have the same vegetables and fruit, but then just use a different sauce another time and it could taste totally different. And then in the middle, my kids love shepherd's pie, and that's pretty easy to make as a casserole. And again, that's something I've made double batches of and I've frozen it. And then this is a little bit less, this is about smaller kids, but get your kids involved from the start. Sometimes sitting down with them and helping them help you make a grocery list makes them feel more involved. I know my kids tend to put less healthy things on the grocery list, but if we also talk about what are we going to have for dinner the next couple of nights, that can help. And even getting your kids to cook one night and say, okay, do you want to cook one night? What do you want to make? And so that way, when you go to the store, you have all those ingredients ready for them and they're committed, then they've got to be committed to making it. Another thing too is there's a cooking class called Kids Cook Real Food, and you subscribe to it for a year. And it's, I think, 6 or 8 video classes, but they come with food. The whole package comes with a list of foods to buy at the store, different recipes for each individual video. I mean, it's really well done. I think it's like $45 for a year. They have them for different age groups. So they have them for little kids as well as older. And my kids did that. My daughter would just not eat anything savory. She was just a carb junkie when she was 8 years old. And it helped her to develop a taste for garlic and for onions. So it was really great because I had her do them with a babysitter. I wasn't involved. I didn't, and this was her project. And so she felt ownership over the food she was making and wanted to eat it. And then finally, healthy snacks can be easy and fun, even if they're not packaged. So again, some of these can be used as hors d'oeuvres too. Like on the upper left side, that's just balls of mozzarella with little cherry tomatoes or mini plum tomatoes on top of basil with a little bit of balsamic olive oil or balsamic vinegar drizzled on it. So those kinds of things are just easy. Again, you put them out if you want people to eat them, just without saying anything. Just leave them out on the counter for a little bit, and I'm sure they'll be gone quickly. Cheese, fruits, you can take different colors, put them together, and they can be fun. Taking asparagus, and what I've done is blanch it so that it's like, or steam it very quickly so that it's cooked, and then let it cool in a bath of ice water, and then wrap turkey slices around it with a toothpick. One fun kind of sweet dessert is taking just slices of banana and then putting some almond butter and then just getting some mini chocolate chips and eating that as a dessert or a snack. And then one thing that's kind of fun as a snack, and it can also be great as lunch, is a bento box. So putting together combinations of different things. So that's on the right, taking hard-boiled eggs and an apple and some hummus and carrots. I think there's some ranch dressing in there, but just or on the top, there's some nuts and blueberries, but that could be something you can bring in for lunch very easily. Kids could bring for lunch. And so it's just an easy way, and it doesn't require much prep. You can buy pre-hard-boiled eggs and just put it in a takeout container or whatever you have, just any kind of Tupperware, and just take it in. They do sell bento boxes with different compartments and things on Amazon. I've seen them. So they tend to not be very expensive. So you could also buy a couple of those, but you don't even need the extra containers for a couple of things in this. So any questions? Or yeah. Hi, Felicia.
I'm starving. Looking at this, I didn't have my breakfast yet, but was wondering the egg salad.
Yeah.
Because I love egg salad, but what do you recommend putting in that?
So during COVID, I developed a mayonnaise addiction. I don't know why, but but I love mayonnaise that's made with avocado oil. So
Ooh.
Sir Kensington's mayonnaise, and also I think Primal Kitchen also makes an avocado oil mayonnaise. I would go with those because they don't have the other oils in it. It's primarily that avocado oil, which is really good for you. So I do that, and you can add some mustard. You could add the dill. You can add, but I mean, that kind of mayonnaise is good.
So did you get that at like Whole Foods or something, or?
You can get it at Whole Foods, but I've actually seen Sir Kensington's. I've gotten a big one at Costco, and I think they also have Sir Kensington's at Stop and Shop.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The one that is Hellman's I've seen olive oil Hellman's mayonnaise, and I've tried that, but that still has a lot of the oils that aren't as great for you, that are very fragile, the sunflower oil or canola oil. So.
What about the eggs themselves?
And then you had
the eggs themselves. I sometimes buy the bags of hard-boiled eggs, and then I just use them. The Trader Joe's ones tend to be a little smelly. But there are ones at Stop and Shop, or you can get the ones at Whole Foods that are pre-made that are fine. I mean, they last a long time.
No, I meant like the cholesterol and the white and the yellow and the whole. How healthy are eggs? How many times a week can you eat them? That kind of thing.
So, and there have been a number of studies that indicate that eggs really don't cause high cholesterol, recent studies. And also, one thing that's interesting about cholesterol is only 15% of any cholesterol comes from food in your body. Your body makes the cholesterol as a result of some kind of inflammation in your body usually. But it also needs to make cholesterol, the good kind, to make hormones and to help your brain. So I wouldn't be as concerned about the cholesterol in eggs at all. There's actually a great podcast that I just sent out to the fall kickstart people in the Y weight loss group about Dr. Mark Hyman. If you ever listen to podcasts, Cynthia?
A little, but I also know Dr. Mark Hyman.
Yeah, he had a great one called "Cholesterol is Not the Cause of Your Heart Disease." It was, I think, October 6th. It's amazing, and it talks all about how 2/3 of everyone, all the heart attack patients, they actually find that they are pre-diabetic or have diabetes that's undiagnosed. Cool. And 50% of the people that have heart attacks have perfectly fine cholesterol. So it talks all about the other causes of heart disease. It's really interesting.
Okay.